When Monica Hargrove's 140-pound German Shepherd lunged at my disabled daughter's prosthetic leg, she had no idea she'd just crossed a man who'd spent years training elite tactical units to handle the most volatile situations in Nevada. The piercing scream from my 17-year-old daughter, Lila, as phantom pain ripped through her missing limb, would have stopped any decent person cold. Instead, Monica, the HOA president, stood in my doorway, arms folded, smirking as her unleashed beast circled my PTSD-stricken kid, who was reliving the training accident that nearly took her life. Monica thought she was untouchable, recording Lila's breakdown on her phone, oblivious to the fact that she wasn't dealing with just another struggling single dad. I'm Ethan Caldwell, call sign Shadow, a former tactical instructor for Nevada's top SWAT teams and federal task forces. This HOA bully, who thought she could terrorize a disabled teen, was about to unravel the biggest corruption scandal in Nevada's history. But before I tell you how one power-hungry Karen learned the hard way that some parents don't back down, let me ask you to stand with me. If you believe protecting our kids is a parent's top priority, hit that like button to amplify this story for other families facing similar harassment. Drop a comment with where you're watching from. I love connecting with people who know standing up to corruption isn't just right, it's essential. Share this with someone who needs to hear it, because what you're about to read will change how you face intimidation forever. It all started 6 months earlier, in June 2024, when I carried 2 duffel bags and my disabled daughter into Desert Oasis, a gated community in Las Vegas billed as a sanctuary for military families transitioning to civilian life. The moving truck hadn't even left when I noticed something off. The security cameras weren't aimed at the streets where crimes might happen. They were trained on driveways, front doors, and windows, like a surveillance web straight out of a spy novel. To most, it looked like tight community security. To my trained eye, it screamed systematic monitoring far beyond neighborhood safety. My cover story was simple. Ethan Caldwell, medically retired Special Forces, studying criminology on the GI Bill, raising his disabled daughter alone. But the truth? My real credentials were locked in a federal safe house 90 miles away, detailing my role as the lead tactical trainer for 3 SWAT teams, 2 federal task forces, and a consultant for hostage negotiation across the Southwest. Lila's story began 3 years prior, in 2021, during a pre-military training exercise for 18-year-olds preparing for elite units. She was demonstrating explosive detection when a faulty training charge detonated, costing her right leg below the knee and leaving her with traumatic brain injury. The blast triggered panic attacks, hypervigilance, and flashbacks that could hurl her back to that moment when instructors fought to stop her bleeding. Her recovery was nothing short of miraculous. She mastered her cutting-edge prosthetic, managed her PTSD through therapy and meds, and kept a spirit that inspired everyone. But her physical and psychological scars demanded ongoing care, specialized equipment, and therapy costing thousands monthly, reliant on veteran benefits and insurance. Barely 24 hours after we unpacked, a certified letter arrived, citing our wheelchair ramp as a violation of Desert Oasis's aesthetic harmony standards. Fixing it would cost $15,000, with work due in 10 days, or we'd face daily fines until we complied or left. Worse, the notice detailed Lila's therapy schedule, prosthetic maintenance, and psychiatric appointments, confidential data only the VA should have. To most, it might seem like thorough HOA oversight. To me, it was evidence of illegal access to private records. Monica Hargrove, 52, ran Desert Oasis from a mansion too lavish for her supposed government pension. Her bio claimed logistical support roles in overseas contractor work, but her fitness and situational awareness hinted at recent military or law enforcement training. Public records showed a career in defense logistics, but nothing about her security clearances or the shady contractors she worked for during lax oversight periods. The next morning, Monica marched to our home like she was inspecting a military base, her German Shepherd, Titan, moving with the precision of a trained security animal. She photographed every accessibility modification, noting Lila's therapy and medical schedules. This wasn't a property check, it was intelligence gathering by someone who knew how to exploit vulnerabilities. "Mr. Caldwell," she said, her voice dripping with authority, "this ramp violates community standards, threatening property values and insurance. Federal accessibility laws don't override our guidelines when alternatives exist. Her words sounded reasonable, but her photos targeted Lila's medical equipment and therapy spaces, mapping pressure points to undermine a disabled teen's independence. "Ma'am," I replied, keeping my tone professional despite my growing suspicions. "This ramp meets VA specs and local codes, which supersede HOA rules for medical necessity." I didn't mention that our contractors, tied to federal agencies, were documenting everything to protect veterans from exactly this kind of harassment. Monica's polished facade cracked, her grip tightening on her camera. "Mr. Caldwell, you don't grasp the seriousness here," she snapped. "Our standards protect everyone's investments, and compliance is non-negotiable, regardless of personal circumstances." Her mention of federal recommendations confirmed she knew too much about veteran benefits, hinting at deeper corruption. While Monica thought she was intimidating a stubborn veteran, I was running my own operation. My secure phone connected me to task force coordinators tracking similar scams nationwide. They'd uncovered a network targeting disabled veterans' benefits through fake violations, fraudulent medical reports, and corrupt officials. Desert Oasis's cameras, financial records showing inflated maintenance costs, and property transfers to shell companies painted a damning picture of embezzlement and fraud. Monica saw me as a lone dad. She didn't know I was part of a federal investigation building cases across multiple states. A week later, a second notice arrived, escalating to safety hazards from Lila's prosthetic and PTSD accommodations, demanding $50,000 in fixes within 14 days. The recommended contractors? All linked to Monica's network. Federal records showed 17 other veteran families in the region had faced similar violations, forced to sell homes at a loss or abandon benefits. By week 3, the HOA claimed Lila's PTSD made her a danger, citing a fake psychiatric report from a doctor with forged credentials. They scheduled an emergency evaluation with county officials tied to Monica's network, aiming to remove Lila to a treatment program that would redirect her benefits to their coffers. While Monica orchestrated her legal assault, I was on secure lines with federal agents tracking stolen VA records and fraudulent payments. Her network had siphoned $95 million from veteran programs over 4 years, funding lavish lifestyles while families like mine struggled. The final straw came on the 3rd anniversary of Lila's accident, a date buried in classified VA files. Monica arrived with Titan Unleashed, claiming an emergency inspection for Lila's dangerous episodes. The dog's aggression triggered Lila's worst flashback, sending her screaming for a medic as phantom pain overwhelmed her. Monica filmed it all, laughing as she mocked Lila's trauma, saying PTSD veterans needed to adjust to civilian authority. That moment broke my restraint. As I held my sobbing daughter, my secure phone buzzed. Operation Silver Strike authorized. Target confirmed psychological warfare. Execute Phase 3. Federal agents had their evidence. At 6 a.m. 3 days later, 19 federal vehicles stormed Desert Oasis. Monica's confidence shattered as FBI, VA, and IRS agents arrested 37 people across 4 states in the largest veteran benefits fraud takedown in Southwest history. At an emergency HOA meeting, I revealed my role, Special Agent Ethan Caldwell, Defense Criminal Investigative Service. This community's harassment violates federal laws protecting disabled veterans. Gasps filled the room as families realized they'd been targeted by a criminal network using psychological warfare to exploit their trauma. Monica's empire unraveled. She'd sold veterans' psychological profiles to criminals, teaching them to trigger PTSD for profit. Her mansion, cars, and luxury goods bought with stolen veteran funds were seized, returning $60 million to defrauded families. She faced 43 felony counts, including fraud, racketeering, and treason for selling VA data to foreign criminals. Lila's recovery soared once she understood her trauma was weaponized, not a weakness. She began counseling other young veterans, and her testimony helped pass the Veterans Psychological Protection Act, making such exploitation a federal hate crime. This isn't just our story, it's a warning. Who's protecting your community's vulnerable? Could your HOA hide similar schemes? Drop a comment with your thoughts. Should psychological warfare against veterans carry life sentences? Like and share to spread this story, and subscribe for more truths about standing up to corruption.